Hey everybody, David here, aka Burlyman40. Smoking an inexpensive pipe that I got from a local market called Jungle Gems. Really cool, eclectic store of really hard to find and unusual foods. And they have a humidor and a section of pipes. And this is one I got from there. And inside of it I'm smoking some Boswell's Berry Cobbler, which is very good. This is primarily a video response to an entry, actually. Very last minute chance to get it in, as it ends in a couple hours, I believe, to Smokey Joe Tennessee's Pet Peeve contest. Now my video is not fancy, not edited, and doesn't have music and all that cool stuff, but nonetheless I wanted to get it in. My pet peeve is not particularly unusual, but one of my big pet peeves is I think, unfortunately, society these days, customer service is becoming a thing of the past in a lot of ways. It seems like people want the cheapest price and the fastest service, and at the price of customer service they're trying to get those things. Whereas I myself would rather pay a little bit more for something. You don't necessarily have to, you shouldn't have to, but I'd rather pay a little bit more for something, be a little more patient and wait for something that comes with good quality customer service versus what you get a lot of today. The bad customer service that I see is sort of across the board in a lot of areas, but some of the particular things that really sort of get on my nerves, when you are paying for something, whether it's at like a McDonald's or any store, you're going to pay for something, you hand them your debit card or you give them the cash, and you place it in their hand as a courtesy because you're wanting them to take your payment. And when they have processed your order and ready to give you your change back or to hand your debit card back to you, and you have your hand out there, and instead of placing it in your hand, they set it on the counter as if your hand doesn't exist. It's not right there in front of them ready to receive what they're supposed to be giving to you. Not a difficult concept. Instead of me having to scoop up the change in my hand off the counter or pick my card up off the counter, I had my hand out so I could receive it when you gave it to me. It's kind of the point of me having my hand out. So when you're going to ignore the fact that my hand's there because you're not making eye contact to begin with, you're not very interested in your job, you're just there because you have to be, doing a job you hate, becomes pretty obvious. And seeing that kind of attitude come across in a lot of aspects of their service that they offer up, their customer service, you can see that they don't want to be there with the lack of eye contact, them just throwing your change down or whatever it is. So that really, really grates on my nerves. When they can't even have the courtesy to hand your change back to you, place it in your hand. You know, it's a small thing, but it can go a long way. So that's pretty annoying to me. Not getting eye contact is huge. Not getting a smile out of somebody when they're there to serve you. They may not be making a lot of money. I know people can be having bad days, but it seems like it's the norm. More often than not, you're seeing people who are grumpy at work and they're in customer service positions and they're really lacking in their customer service abilities. So a huge pet peeve of mine. Sort of along the same lines is I'm a photographer. This is some of my photography here on the wall, but that's not what this video is about. But when I first got into photography, I went to a local camera shop to get a camera, and I went in there not knowing anything about cameras and the attachable lenses and all that good stuff. And so often when you go into a store, and even before I had the money to actually buy a camera, I would go in and look. And when you go into some of these specialty shops, if you don't go in with a certain amount of knowledge, they don't even want to have their time wasted with you being in their store, especially if they know you're not ready to purchase. Heaven forbid you actually go in and start doing a little research by trying to get your hands on some of the merchandise, see how it feels in your hand, what you're going to like, what you don't like, just learning some of the basics about something before you plunk down about a bunch of money for it. They seem very disinterested in wanting to help you. They've got this sort of look down their nose, snobby attitude that, how dare you come in my shop and not know the fundamentals of the thing that we sell here, cameras, photography. How dare you not know more about it? So, and way beyond that, I don't have issues with that anymore in camera stores, but I remember that feeling, having that, being on the receiving end of that attitude, going into some camera stores. And I still see it happen to other customers when I go in stores, and I try to reach out and help them a little bit because they're not going to get it from the sales clerk. And I did, and I know Uptowns is going to see this if it gets to that point, that this gets passed along to them. But when I went in to our local tobacco shop to buy a pipe for the first time, I knew zero about pipes and tobaccos and all that good stuff. Was a total non-smoker, wanting to get into pipe smoking. I knew nothing, and really sort of got the same attitude from the tobacco shop. Very disappointed in that. So Uptowns, if you're watching this, if nothing else, I'm sure you guys aren't like that, because I saw the video that Smokey Joe and some other guys did in there, and I didn't get a sense of that at all. But certainly, shame on you if you are like that, but I certainly hope you're not, because I see that attitude in a lot of specialty shops that specialize in one service or in a little niche. And very disappointing, very disheartening for those who want to get into it, and obviously just don't know anything for whatever reason, because they're just getting into it. So huge pet peeves of mine when you can't get customer service, whether it's in the little things that I'm handing your change back to you in your hand that's right in front of their face, or getting somebody to help you as you're trying to venture out into something new. So very frustrating to me. Big pet peeves. My blood pressure's raising as I'm sitting here right now. I can hardly stand it. Yeah, seriously, those little things really get to me. I don't think I should have to, but I'm willing to pay for customer service. So that should be a given. Customer service, you're there to provide a good or a service to customers. So let's do it right. Okay, that's it. Not an exciting entry. Not my video doesn't have special effects or anything like that, but that's what gets my goat. So thanks for watching and considering this entry. I know it's very last minute, but I've been extremely busy and really have a lot of catching up to do on YouTube. So I hope everybody is doing well. I just spit on my camera. Hope everybody is doing really well. I miss everybody out there watching little bits of videos here and there as I can. So one of these days I'll get to a point that I feel I'm caught up and can actually start putting out videos regularly again myself. Take care, all of you out there in YouTube land. I'm enjoying watching what I can when I can, and I will see you all soon. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. God bless.